Welcome back to Coach's Corner on OUGrizzlies.com. I'm joined by head basketball coach Greg Kampe. Coach, very tough stretch of league games. You had a tough game with Oral Roberts last night. They were able to shoot the ball close to 80% really from three. Just a tough night for the Golden Grizzlies.
Well, you have a very somber voice today. There's not this booming welcome to Coach's Corner. And I think that's pretty much the mood around here. You know, we're getting it taken to us a little bit, and um, you know, we got to figure out what we're doing wrong, and we've got to get better at it. It's still, I keep saying this, and I'm sure people don't want to hear it, but it's still just the beginning of January. There's a lot of time left. We're three back in the loss column for the league regular season league championship, and that'll be a big mountain to overcome. And maybe we can, maybe we can't, but you know, the focus is still on March. It always has been. That's always been our number one goal. I think we had a team that in November had the makings of a very good basketball team. Right now, it doesn't look that way. We've got some broken parts that have to get fixed. But if we can get them all fixed, I still think we have a chance to be a very good basketball team. And we'll see if we can get that. I guess that's on my shoulders to get that done, and I have very big shoulders.
And it's nice that you mentioned that. I mean, you're only 5 games into the league season. Plenty of time to right the ship, if you will. Very talented team, as we saw in November with that 6-2 start. So, you know, you haven't been buried yet. You got Western Illinois coming in tomorrow, who won last night, 2-2 in league play. Talk about the Leathernecks.
Well, they're a much improved team, and when Jim got the job, I told people a long time ago that that this program is going to start to rise to the top because I've known Jim since we were very young. He was an assistant at DePaul under Ray Meyer when I was an assistant at Toledo years ago, and we used to see each other on the road all the time, and I knew that job was going to get done and done well, and he's really fought through some adversity there with injuries and all the bad things that have happened to him the last couple of years. He had a heck of a recruiting year. He's got a freshman that's really good. He's got a JC transfer that's really good, and they're a formidable opponent. They're going to win a lot of games in the Summit League. It's not what you would say your normal Western Illinois club coming in here tomorrow. It's a very good basketball team coming in here.
And you talk about Western Illinois. Ciola Clark is somebody who's given us fits over the years. Talk about how special of a player he is now that he's healthy again.
Well, he's one of the guys that you talk about. 2 years ago, he was one of the best players in our conference. First team All-League, Defensive Player of the Year. Last year he sat out with a foot injury most of the year. I think it came over at the beginning of this year, but he's really now getting back to where he was. He's really a good player, but he's not the only guy they got now. I mean, he's got some very good complementary players. They're a team that's going to play a very slow style of game. They're going to guard you very hard. They're going to take time off the shot clock. They're going to ball screen, and you know how we've struggled with the ball screen lately. So we're going to see a lot of ball screens and a slow-paced game that we're probably going to have to try and increase tempo and make it a little bit more favorable for us.
And talk about the tempo. That's one thing you've mentioned that you've kind of changed a little bit with the offense here, trying to run more set plays. And you talked last night about how it turned into kind of a pickup game towards the end of the Oral Roberts game. What are some of the things you talked to the team about, really focusing on offense and defense?
Well, we had a team meeting today. Obviously, when you get to the position we're in, it's time to step back and meet and figure out what we're doing wrong. And we actually watched the first part of the Tennessee game as a team today, just to go back to see what were we doing then that we're not doing now, and look at the emotion we're playing with, look at the enthusiasm we're playing with. I think one of the constants that you hear about the last few games is that we almost look like we don't care out there. We look like, we have this bewildered look on our face, like, oh, this is happening to us. How can this be happening to us? And, so we have to get away from that. And, I'm not so sure it's the offense or the defense. I think it's a combination of everything. I know that for 8 games we were 6-2. Our defensive numbers were as good as they've ever been. Our field goal percent defense, our 3-point defense, our points per possession defense were tremendous numbers. And in the last 9 games, they're the worst I've ever seen. So how did that same team go from being one of the best defensive teams to one of the worst I've ever coached statistically? And that's my job, is to find out what's caused that, and we got to get that fixed. And it really all comes down to that. Now, Does bad shots on offense lead to runouts that hurt you defensively? Yes. Do quick shots? Do you go play defense for 27 seconds, come down, and in 4 seconds take a shot? Now you're back on defense for 20 seconds. If those things have happened to us, we have to fix those things.
All right, Coach. Well, hopefully they get fixed tomorrow night against Western Illinois. Best of luck.
Well, it's one day at a time. I mean, we're not going to win 13 straight tomorrow night. We have to get better. We have to make improvements. We have to find out what's caused this and then start chipping away at fixing what caused it so that when March gets here, that we're a team that's reached its peak, its potential, and that's the key, because I think the team has a high ceiling. So if on March 1st, when we go into that tournament, if we've reached our ceiling or our peak, then I'll be a very happy coach no matter what's happened.
All right, Coach. Best of luck.